What's up, undead? Time to revisit the mining tent. There's the hot aisle. There's the cold aisle. Let's just take a peek in here real quick. Air walls moving air. Trying to keep everything cold on this side. Everything hot over here. Getting exhausted out. Oh my god, my house. I gotta get this thing vented outside. It's still going into the ductwork. And with all the windows open, I cannot keep my house cool. I have to do this next. But that's for another video. Alright, let's run upstairs, check these temps out. I'll get this sealed up quick. And yeah. So, not too bad. These are the cards in my office. These are the 1660 non-super, non-TI. That's my 5700. The 580s, they're pretty warm. Alpha case, these are all 1660 supers. These are doing fine. I got 9 of those in there. Actually, the Vegas are pretty impressive. I think that 48... No, 47's my coldest card, but these are just blower cards. And look at the fan speeds. I'm not even really cranking on them yet. So they're loving the air wall. These are fine. These are my 30 series cards. Now, the 580s, these are running too hot. I still have the 2000 RPM Noctua fans in the case. I need to pull those out and get the Delta fans back in. But they drive me crazy because they're so loud. So what I'm going to do is run the Delta fans off a fan controller. And it's really not going to matter. I'm going to pull these 580s for the time being. They're just going to sit outside of the tent. And then I have different cards that are going to go into this case. I'll show you those in just a minute. So let's go downstairs. I'm going to show you what I bought to throw into the case here. Alright, so here's the big purchase. Everything in this box. I'm going to get this ripped open. I ordered 8 of these A2000s. They all fit in this tiny box here. You cannot appreciate how small these are until you've seen them in person. Actually, looking through the viewfinder on the camera, they look enormous compared to what they really are. And let me just find something crazy to compare them to. There we go. How's that for a comparison? It's just nuts. They're so much smaller than they look. Anyways, I'm going to throw all 8 of these into that case that you see on the top shelf in the tent there that's got the 580s in it. Oh, by the way, if you guys are looking to where you can buy these things, I paid $5.69 each. I got them from ProDirect Mining. There was no shipping. You're able to pay with crypto. I want to say I bought them 5 days ago. I'd have to double check, but they're legit. They were really helpful. They had good customer service. If I wanted to talk to them, I could chat with them on the website, and then he would just hit me up on Messenger. So I can't say enough good things. Look at this bag of loot that comes with them too. I'm imagining there's other I/O brackets, and these are all the adapters for the display ports. But yeah, so I'm stoked about these. I've always been wanting to phase out the 580s and go with something more efficient. I'll keep them mining in the meantime, but with the merge coming upon us and things like that, I really feel as though I need to start looking at cards that are also efficient on other algorithms. Ergo is something that I have been seriously stacking up on over the last year. It could be a whole nother video, but I think it's the next great project, in my opinion, possibly. I mean, this is entirely speculation, but with summer coming around the corner, I think that an algorithm that's easier on your graphics cards as far as wattage and temperatures and things like that is going to be attractive. The other thing is it's got a very low market cap, especially right now. It's way down from its old highs. I think it's just a moment's away from a decent rally. Granted, we have to get through all this shit we're going through right now, and that's going to take some time, I would guess. Again, speculation, not investing advice, but yeah, A2000's kick-ass on Ergo, and Vegas did too for a while. That's why I bought those initially. They're down from where they were, but they also consume less power for the hash rate they get. So I think they're still going to be viable, and they're definitely still viable on Ethereum. So, all right, enough blabbering. I'm going to get these cards thrown into that server case. Real quick before I power these down too, I want to show you the power consumption. Just a tick over 5,000 watts. So we'll see what that looks like without the 580s running and with the A2000s in their place. And I should have more hash rate. So we'll look at all that. Matter of fact, let's just take a quick peek at that hash rate. So 253.6. This is a pretty steady rig, although it looks like it... Oh yeah, it crashed on me recently. Huh. Well, nonetheless... pulling about, this says 991 watts. I think that's pretty accurate because at one point in time I unplugged my rigs one by one and took the measurements and then added it into the equipment consumption or software something you can change in the settings in Hive to add some wattage so that everything looked pretty accurate. So total, where do I find that? Right here. 5186, and that includes this unit right here, which I think is damn close. But oh, and the other thing we're seeing at the 5,000 watts down in the basement, that's the 200 plus watts that the little Litecoin miner is drawing. So yeah, we'll go visit that when all's said and done. Alright, so here's the 580s. They are coming out. This will be interesting because I won't need any of these extra power cables that are coming out of the motherboard. You can see this was like an Antminer power supply. It's 1600 watts. 8 of the strands. This thing has a total of 10. 8 run into the motherboard and then out from the motherboard to power these. Well, I won't need that because the A2000s have no external 6 or 8 pin. They run straight off of the PCIe slot. So I'll have a bunch of these extra strands. And this guy right here should be able to power the fan controller. I finally found a 6-pin fan controller instead of SATA or Molex or something like that. So this should work out just mint for this setup right here. All right, there's everything ripped out of the case. I have well over a year worth of mining dust in here, so I'm going to take this outside, dust it out. I'm going to try to figure out where I can mount the little dial for the fan controller. I think I can put it through one of these slots and then just put the lock nut on there and then have it right at the face of the rig there so I can turn the fans up and down to my liking. So let me go get this dusted off. Alright, so there they are. Got the fan controller mounted here, the knob right there on that side. I can tune these. Oh, if you notice, I left one of the Noctua fans. Hey Stardust, pest controls here. I left one of the Noctua fans because it turns out it's actually fighting the direction of airflow for the power supply, which I didn't know. So having them in a pull configuration, that makes sense why it came that way. But I can focus all the air across the cards with high pressure. I kept this one lower pressure and it should exhaust out there anyways. But that way it's not fighting it and actually pushing against the fan on this side, which is trying to pull air in. So that's how I solved that. There's my fan controller. Look at how tiny those are. Oh, you know what? I suppose I'll plug it in and just show you. Hang on. There they are on the lowest setting. Look at this disaster. Yep, so there it is. Alright, we're going to go plug it in, start up a new flight sheet, and see how they mine. Alright, so this is up and running for almost 4 days now. The night that I first set it up, I ended up on here messing with the overclocks till about 1:30 in the morning, realizing it was time for bed. I had work the next day, and I just never had a chance to come back in. But this gives it a good test. By the way, I don't know what these gaps are because they do not show on the pool, but it looked like all of my rigs have been doing this the last few days. So if anybody knows what that's about, let me know. But yeah, on the pool side, I don't see it there. So I've got these pretty well tuned in. One thing I notice is if the fans require more speed, it'll actually pull from the hash rate of the cards, probably because everything's limited to 70 watts. There's a pretty cool mod that I saw a guy takes and wires the fans off of the PCB and onto his motherboard, so the fans are running separate of the cards, and then the cards can run at their full hash rate. But these are doing pretty good for stock A2000s. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it. This is awesome. We'll run downstairs real quick. I'll show you the power consumption. I'm really happy with this. I can tell you right now, it's about 400 watts less, almost exactly. So we'll go down, grab those numbers, and then, yeah, I'm happy. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the farm more efficient, phase out the 580s. Like I said, I am going to run the 580s for a moment. Just until, I mean, because they are still profitable. It's just, they're not going to be when things get hectic. So, all right, running down to the basement. There they are. Those are the A2000s now in place of the 580s. I've got the knob right here so I can adjust the Delta fans. As you can see, I had to flip the case around because the fans have to be in a push configuration as those A2000s exhaust out of the I/O plate. Just like any other blower style card, they have to be pushing this direction. So the next thing I'm going to do is get those 30 series cards. I'm either going to take all 8 or maybe just my 7 3070s and 3060 Ti's and pop them into this unit right here. This is essentially an octo miner. It's just rebranded for Miner Dude and powder coated black. So I might run 7 of these cards, put my 3080 upstairs, and then add the other 5 1660s into this case for a total of 12. And just so you can see the the power consumption, it is pretty much 400 watts less and about 90 more mega hash. So that's a trade I'm willing to make. Got the 580s over on the shelf here, and probably throw the 580s into this open air frame once I've done that. I don't know if it's going back into the tent yet. I am still dealing with quite a bit of heat. It's muggy and hot tonight. We'll see how that goes, but first things first, get the 30 series cards happy. Probably just run the 580s out here on 120 volt power. So that's next. That'll be the next video, is getting everything swapped into here. And I'll probably rearrange the shelving and try to get everything to sit a little bit lower and see if that increases the efficiency of the heat extraction of this steel here. Alright, blockers, thanks for tuning in to another one. If you have any questions or comments, shoot them down in the comment section. I've had a lot of really good feedback as far as what's been going on with my grow tent and trying the negative pressure and things like that. You guys have had some really good suggestions and a lot of really cool things to say, some of which I'm going to be trying out. But first things first, my house is infinity degrees, and I'm dying in here. So it definitely proves the theory that I was gathering and scavenging heat into my ventilation, and it was working great in the winter, but it can't stay that way. I'm going to be getting that vented outside, in addition to getting more cards put into server cases and seeing how that all works out. So I'll keep you guys updated as I move along, and I just really appreciate you guys being here for the journey. So thanks a lot, and stay undead.